Hey everybody, welcome to the Homestead. So what we're going to do today is talk about soil amendments. We don't add a lot of amendments to our soil, but just a few things can give you a gigantic advantage to having you just have a lot of production in your garden. And so there's just a few things that I want to go over that we use on our homestead that I would highly recommend. Again, we don't use a lot of things, but just a few things that really help. That I've noticed give a real big advantage for us and a good benefit. So first off, let me explain this. I look at a garden as like a salad. And if you take a salad, if you just take a bowl, an empty bowl, and you put lettuce into it, and that's your salad, just one type of lettuce in your salad, it's going to be a really boring salad. It's not going to have a lot of flavor, a lot of character, and it's just going to, just not be as good as it could be. And so it's the same thing with a garden. If you take a garden and you just use dirt, just topsoil or just dirt, and you don't do anything to that dirt to encourage growth and to encourage character, it's just going to be a boring, it's not going to be as great as it could be. So you take that salad in your bowl, and then you put in a little bit of sliced carrots, or some shredded carrots, or maybe some cabbage, or some different types of lettuce, and then you throw in a cucumber and some tomatoes, maybe throw a little bit of cheese on it, maybe some pepper, and just all kinds of great things that you can, maybe some avocado in that salad, some nuts or some sort of, lots of different things you can put into a salad to just increase the flavor. And when you eat that salad, it just becomes more fulfilling. It's the same thing with soil. If you can just add a number of things to your soil, you're going to get so much more of a fulfilling product out of your soil. It's just going to be so much different than just having dirt, just one thing as part of your growing medium. And so what we do is lasagna, and we'll go into this in more detail too in the season episodes. But what you do is you put down. We use lasagna gardening or the Back to Eden garden method, and we're constantly putting new things on top of that soil, layering layer after layer after layer on top of that soil. And as that natural organic material breaks down, it's adding nutrients that wasn't in the soil before. So you're putting wood chips, and you're putting hay, and you're putting grass clippings, and you're putting leaves and all this stuff into the soil that makes it just an amazing soil that you can grow in and grow a good amount of produce from. Along with that, you have things like this right here. This is magnesium, and it's basically just an Epsom salt. And we putting in this on the garden. Last year, I sprinkled a little bit of this around my tomato plants, and my tomato plants just loved it. A little bit of Epsom salt on your garden. We take this and I just broadcast it out in my garden little by little. It's just adding something else to the salad, if you will. And so putting that on the garden, it really does, I've really noticed a difference. I also use this a little bit in my aquaponics system, just a tad. I put that through the watering system. And so that disseminates that way. But magnesium, and the longer you're a gardener and the more you garden, you'll look at your plants and you'll see deficiencies when they're struggling. You'll begin to recognize these deficiencies, whether it's an iron deficiency or whether it's a magnesium or a phosphorus, something. You'll be able to recognize these things as time goes on, and you begin to research. By all means, go out to YouTube and Google and find the different symptoms that your plants may be suffering from, and then you'll learn. So. Magnesium was one of the things I noticed that some of my plants were suffering from, and so I increased the magnesium inside of my garden. And all those other nutrients that we're putting down constantly, layers upon layers, that all adds to the nutrients because there's natural minerals and supplements that you find in some of these too, also in those. But again, sometimes you need to add a little more, and that really helps. This is the big one. It's called Azomite. And there's 70 plus trace minerals in this. It's volcanic ash or volcanic rock that's been ground up into a very fine powder, and it breaks down, adds 70 plus trace minerals into your garden. Now, imagine like a buffet, and you're going through the buffet, and you want a little bit of this, and you want a little bit of that, and you get to choose what you want on your plate for your buffet. It's the same thing. When your plants, when you put these things into the ground, especially azomite, this rock dust that has 70 plus trace minerals, you're giving the plant an entire buffet that it can choose from, different nutrients that it needs to grow the most healthy plant that it can be. And so that's what things like azomite, and there's other ones like C90 I've used also on my garden. It adds trace minerals back into your soil that may not have ever been there or may have been depleted based on where you live. If your soil has has been worked over before by agriculture, or it's just been, utilized in some way that's ripped some of these nutrients out, using Azomite can really add so many things back into your soil that were never there to begin with, that gives your plant an entire buffet of nutrients to choose from so that it can be the most healthy plant it can be. The other one is bat guano. And so we originally got this because I want to put some of this bat guano into a paste, add some water to it, make it into a paste, and put it up on our bat box on the house. And I've been told online that that will help attract bats to the bat box. So we're going to try that out. But I just got this recently, and we're going to try also in the garden. It's a heavy nitrogen. It won't burn the plants, but it will go a long way in helping to add some more nitrogen to certain plants that I want to put this on. I want to try it on some of my strawberries, maybe on some of my berry plants, also on some other plants that I have. But this is a really awesome nitrogen, and people, this stuff is not cheap. We went ahead and spent the money on it, but I don't like to spend a lot of money on nutrients because I like to layer my stuff on there from natural things. We get rice hulls, we get wood chips, we get grass clippings, we get wheat straw, we get all kinds of things, we get all kinds of manures, and all that stuff is free around here because there's so many farms that are looking to get rid of it all. You have to kind of watch because some of the farms use chemical feeds and things like that you probably don't want in your garden. But if you just are picky, a little bit of picky and choosy, you can still find a lot of free stuff that people will give you. But every once in a while, I like to add something a little extra into the soil. And so that's what we're using with the bat guano. The other one is rock phosphate, and this is phosphorus. I got this from kelpforless.com. You can see that, and it wasn't very expensive at all. And you take this, and I heard it's really good for corn if you're growing corn crops in your garden. To take this and also broadcast it out, and I'm going to do this with this year with this. And then it takes about a year or so for these things that you're putting in the garden to break down, and for the soil, the microbiology in the soil to break it down so that it can be utilized by the root nodules of your plants. So that just takes time. But by doing this, you're actually ensuring your next year's garden to be very healthy. And so 2 years ago we did this. Put a lot of this stuff down on the garden. It's been breaking down. Our garden the soil is so amazing in our garden right now, just because of all the natural materials and some of the other little things that we've added to our garden to make it as healthy as you possibly can make it. So if you get a chance, if you're growing a garden this year, you don't have to be a green thumb. What you really need to do is you need to provide it the best possible soil that you can, and allow the plants to have the most available nutrients that you can allow it to have, and you're going to be able to grow plants. It's just simple as that. You can't go out to some clay dirt and plant a seed and expect a tomato to pop up. It just doesn't work that way. And people wonder why they kill their plants. Not only that, but you have pest issues. We're going to talk about some of this other stuff in season episodes, but you're going to have pest issues and pressures and things like that you're going to have to constantly battle. I always tell people to grow more than you're going to need because you're going to lose some of them to pest pressures and whatever else, and maybe disease and fungus. But if you grow more than you need, you're always going to have enough. But these things like this will really give you an edge up. Get the stuff in your soil, let it break down, put tons of natural materials layered on your garden. Never till. Once you start doing this process, you can never till your garden because you'll ruin nitrogen in your garden. You can't do that. But you don't need to till. You just dig a little hole, put your plant or put your seed, and it comes up. I've been doing that way for 3 years now, and it works great. All right, hope this has helped some people. I know people are asking, hey, what do you do for your garden? We're going to do more garden videos, more garden soil videos just for you guys so that you guys can get an idea of what we're doing here. It's been spectacular, the amount of success we've had with our garden. Great tomato plants. We get them by just the basketfuls. We just bring them in and we can them and we make salsas. We made 100 jars of salsa last year, and we're still eating it now. I love it. And cabbages too, all kinds of stuff over there growing. And so we're having great success by doing some of these things and making our soil as healthy as it can be. And I want you guys to make your soil as healthy as it can be. All right. Hope this has helped. We'll see you next time on An American Homestead.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please click the thumbs up button below the video. It really means a lot to us. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Now you can support An American Homestead by becoming a patron. Visit patreon.com/AnAmericanHomestead to see all the benefits of becoming a patron of our channel. You'll get access to private videos, pictures, and even live question and answer sessions that you can participate in. Some patrons will even receive free gifts throughout the year from the Homestead. Visit patreon.com/An American Homestead to check it out and see the rewards of supporting our channel.